So let's start with the first chapter of the PSM, epidemiology. Epidemiology, the branch of medicine which deals with the incidence, distribution and the possible control of the diseases. Epidemiology, epi means among, demi means peoples and the ology means study. So it's mean among people study is known as epidemiology. The first question of the MCI we seen is the epidemiology, the study of dash. The epidemiology, the study of diseases. The epidemiology is the study of the diseases. So epidemiology, the simply epidemiology tell us about the distribution, determinants, frequency of the disease, and this was given by the John M. Last. So firstly we will talk about the distribution. Distribution means time, place and the person. Means any disease which occur in the particular time, particular place and the particular person. So we will talk this in detail later. So the next is determinant. Determinant means the cause of disease, how the disease is caused. So then the last one is frequency. Frequency means have the two components. One is incidence and second one is the prevalence. Incidence, in this we includes the new cases of disease. And in prevalence we include both new plus old cases. So let's discuss about the seasonal and time distribution of the disease. From this we mean to say that the disease which is seen in a particular time or season. So to explain this we will take some examples, like first example, dengue. Dengue is caused by the mosquitoes. So mainly the mosquitoes are mainly seen in rainy season. So we can say this is a seasonal or a time distributional disease. So dengue is a rainy disease. Next we can take about malaria. Malaria is same as dengue as it is mainly seen in rainy seasons. Another example is a chikungunya fever. This is mainly also seen in the rainy seasons. Like the other examples we can take rotavirus, which is mainly seen in winter seasons. So it is also an example of seasonal disease. Another measles, which is also seen in winters. Like chicken pox, is also mainly seen in winters. So like the other examples we can take typhoid, cholera, food poisoning, diabetes mellitus, hypertension, chronic heart disease, cancers, HIV. These are the examples we can't take in seasonal distribution. because this does not depend upon season, as it can occur in any time. Some other examples we can take: road accident, road traffic accidents. This is an also example of seasonal or a time distribution disease. As in winter we can see that so many folks, so many accident is mainly seen in the winter season. Hay fever, which is due to the pollens, mainly seen in spring season. Asthma, hypertensive disease, so mainly seen in winters. Now from this seasonal time distribution, in MCI they have asked two times. First MCI question was, which of the following is not a seasonal distribution of disease? The option was given: dengue, second was typhoid, third was polio, and fourth was measles. So from this it is very easy to find out the answer. So the answer was typhoid, as we have discussed. The second question was same as that of first, but the options are different. In the first option we have taken the malaria, second was road traffic accidents, third was food poisoning, and fourth was polio. So as we have discussed, the food poisoning is not a seasonal disease. So easy questions they are asking, so keep in mind about all the list of this seasonal time. Our second definition is about the place distribution of the disease. This means a particular disease which is mainly particularly seen in a particular place. Like we will take the examples like malaria, dengue, chikungunya fever, kala azar, measles, chickenpox, polio. So the malaria, we can say that the malaria is mainly seen in North East India, and dengue we know is mainly seen in Delhi, Kolkata, Odisha, West Bengal. Chikungunya is also mainly seen in Delhi, Kolkata, Odisha, West Bengal, as their vector is same. and the Kala Azar is mainly seen in Bihar, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand. Measles. Measles is not an example of place distribution. Chickenpox is also not an example of place distribution. Polio is not an example, because these three can be seen at any place. In this, they asked a question: which of the following is not a place distribution of disease? Option was malaria, dengue, Kala Azar, and fourth was goiter. So the answer was goiter. Some of the students think that goiter is not an answer, but this is the true answer. As we think that goiter is due to iodine, but in hilly areas people's lack of iodine, but this is false, as all over the India iodine salt is available. So keep in mind, goiter is not an example of place distribution of a disease. So let's talk about the percent distribution of the disease. In a percent distribution of a disease, we mainly have two things, like the first is person age and the person sex. So we will take some examples which affects the person's age, means the disease which affects the mainly the age group. Like we take first example, hypertension. This disease mainly affects the people who are above the age of 40 years. So we can say this is the person's age group distribution of a disease. Like second example, chronic heart disease, which is an also example of this, which mainly affects the persons whose age group is above 40 to 45 years. Diabetes mellitus, 30% seen in with age group 40 years more. Cancer, which is more than 45 of year age. Alzheimer disease, more than 60 years. Cataract, also an age group person distribution of the disease, more than 50 years. Rickets, which is mainly seen in children. So this is an also example of person distribution of age. Rheumatic fever, which is particularly seen in the age group of 5 to 15 years. So some examples like typhoid, malaria, dengue, chikungunya fever, H1N1, food poisoning. These are not an example of person's age group distribution of the disease. So please keep in mind typhoid, malaria, dengue, chikungunya fever, H1N1 and the food poisoning is not an example of person's age group distribution of the disease. There are some other examples like polio, chickenpox, rotavirus. These are the examples which is person's age group. The question asked in an older exam from this topic was, which of the following is not an example of person age distribution of disease? The option was, first option was hypertension, second was rickets, third was rheumatic fever, and fourth was food poisoning. So the answer here was food poisoning. Food poisoning was the. So next is the person sex distribution of the disease. So first we will take example like hypertension. Second is chronic heart disease, diabetes mellitus. So hypertension mainly affects the females, not the males. Chronic heart disease mainly affects the males because more smokers and alcohol. And diabetes mellitus is also mainly affects the males. This is a sex distribution of the disease. Like we can take cancers of the different place, like cancer of cervical, breast, lung and oral cancer. The cervical cancer is only seen in females. Breast cancer mainly seen in females. Lungs, the cancer mainly seen in males due to smoking. Oral cancer is mainly seen in males due to tobacco chewing. There are other examples like which was present in the person age but it is not present in the person sex, like the examples measles is not a sex related disease. Second was chickenpox. This is not an example of sex related disease. Malaria, dengue is also not an example of sex related disease. The main we can say HIV is a sex related disease. Sex related disease, as the ratio was given male to female was 1:7 or 10. So keep in mind